Hey guys, I'm not dead yet. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is the brand new racing game featuring Sonic and friends, released a whole 6 years after the last racing title, Team Sonic Racing. I thought TSR was a fine racing game, but it didn't really hold a lot of longevity due to Sega just not really supporting it after its release. They just sort of plopped it out, then that was it, which was kind of a shame considering Sumo Digital previously made All-Stars Racing Transformed, which was pretty beloved by a lot of fans, who almost all of which found TSR to be a letdown. But this time, however, instead of Sumo Digital, Sonic Team themselves made this game, and they've actually promised future content to come throughout next year. There's no story mode this time around, it's just a straightforward racing title. Single player offers the standard Grand Prix mode, where you can race on 6 different selections with 2 that could be unlocked later, plus 2 coming in future crossover courses that I'll get to. So it's about 30 available race courses you can choose from, but the gimmick for this game is that once you reach the second lap, you'll get presented with 2 different portals that either you or whoever's in first place can choose from. You can choose either the portal that shows exactly where you're going, or you can spice things up by choosing the random portal, which leads to you racing a full lap on a different track, where you're then transported back to the original course so you can do the final lap. And in a pretty cute idea, once you beat the main 3 races in a Grand Prix, the last track has you racing on 1 lap for each course. I love that. The course swapping gimmick is a lot of fun, and it really helps make the racetracks in this game not feel repetitive. But if you are somehow one of those people who want to turn this function off, you can't. But there is the time trial mode that lets you race on the same track in 3 laps, so there's that. Another cool gimmick with this game is that after you select your character, the game will randomly choose another character to be your rival, which leads to both of them having back and forth throughout the Grand Prix, which is where the most story/cutscenes really occur in this game. The character exchanges can be pretty humorous, and seeing interactions between 2 Sonic characters you never thought would speak to each other is kinda cool, but I personally didn't find them too extraordinary.
We are both creations of the Robotnik lineage. Would you consider us family?
I've put that part of my history behind me. I live for myself. You should do the same.
Damn, Shadow, that was kinda brutal.
So you were invited too. I suppose it's better for it. You can't get into any trouble this way.
You're in plenty of trouble if you're up against me. You might as well disappear now to hide your shame from defeat.
My hot take for this review is that Jet the Hawk never had a good voice. Sorta on that topic, the extreme gear from Sonic Riders make a comeback, which is easily one of the cooler aspects of CrossWorlds. They don't necessarily function like they did back in Riders, so as a result they're actually fun to use. I remember seeing the extreme gear in the initial reveal trailer and was really hoping they'd be an option later on, and I think that says a lot because I'm not really a huge fan of Riders. Having them here is kind of like having the bikes in Mario Kart. They're such an ideal alternative that it's kind of bizarre that it took so long for them to appear in another racing game. Apart from that, I don't have too much else to say about the gameplay. If you played either Sonic and Sega All-Stars games or even TSR, you know exactly what you're getting. It's a racing game. The controls are pretty solid, and I gotta admit, once I got used to using the extreme gear, they might be my favorite option. They also just look aesthetically better. This game also brings back the customizable machines feature from TSR, along with having a few additions to it, like the ability to add custom gears to help you in a race, along with customizing the look of your vehicle and extreme gear. I didn't mess with this too much, but it's definitely a cool feature. I also like what they did with the trick system and how you can't really wipe out anymore, and doing tricks with the extreme gear is great, though I will admit, seeing Jet and the rest of the Babylon rogues using cars is kinda cursed. The race courses contain references and callbacks to many parts of Sonic's history, which includes levels like Metal Harbor and Radical Highway from Adventure 2, the returning Ocean View and Roulette Road that were influenced by Sonic Heroes, plus we even got new courses based around Sonic Unleashed like Apidos, Dragon Road, and more. There's also Kronos Island and Cyberspace from Frontiers, Sweet Mountain and Starlight Carnival from Colors, and there's even 2 courses from Sonic and the Secret Rings, Kraken Bay and Dinosaur Jungle, which kinda shocked me when I saw that in the game trailers. I also love that Sonic Superstars got a track, the North Star Islands, which has you race across various locations from that game. It's pretty neat, and also made me realize that Classic Sonic wasn't playable in this game. Oh well. Another personal favorite of mine was Digital Circuit returning from Shadow the Hedgehog. I really loved the new look for that course, and the white space from Shadow Gens was a pretty fun idea for a racetrack. Overall, this game's art style looks pretty incredible, especially if you're playing it on Series X/S, PS5, or PC. I heard the Switch version looks fine, but there are plans to release a Switch 2 upgrade later on, so I'm glad Sonic fans on Nintendo consoles can play a better version of this game soon. I also only wrote this part of the video to show off I got a Switch 2. It's pretty damn slick. The soundtrack for this game is solid, giving us a great variety of remixes and racing tunes throughout the game, along with featuring older tracks from the earlier games that you can set as your lap music in the jukebox. So if you really want to set the Werehog battle theme as your racing music at all times, then there you go, you crazy bastards. Being honest, the worst song in the game is probably the vocal theme. I'm not really a huge fan of how it sounds. It's a bit too corny, and it also does shit like rhyming power up with power up. Like, these lyrics straight up feel like they were written by ChatGPT. I'm not even joking. I like the melody and the instrumental version in the menus, but I'm not too crazy about the lyrics. I especially don't like that they just sing Sonic Racing all throughout the song, and sadly, it's the only part of the song that really stuck with me. I know the main argument to this is, well, older Sonic vocal tracks were also cheesy. Just look at Sonic Heroes. Sure, golden example. But Heroes, I don't know how to explain it. That song just had the sauce, dude. It was cheesy, but still fun to listen to. I guess Johnny Gioeli just knew how to write stuff. Segueing into that, it's so weird that we didn't get a new Crush 40 song in this game. Jun Sonoya was one of the main sound people, just like with TSR, but we didn't get to hear anything from Crush 40. I'm guessing Johnny wasn't available due to the Live and Learn lawsuit that was going on. It's quite a shame. I really hope Crush 40 can make another appearance in the future game. Also, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not saying Johnny would have magically made these shitty lyrics in CrossWorlds sound good, but I definitely think he would have written a better song. Also, yes, Greenlight Ride from TSR wasn't one of Crush 40's best tracks, but I still personally found that slightly better than CrossWorlds' theme. Whatever. When it comes to the extra content, this is easily where CrossWorlds seriously shines. First off, I'm so happy we have crossplay online multiplayer. Honestly, if they had just given TSR this feature, I really think that game would have lasted a little longer. So no matter what console you're playing this on, you can play this game with your friends across any console and PC, along with being able to add each other using the in-game ID system. This is just really cool, and I'm happy this got implemented. Crossplay needs to be normalized across everywhere. The second best and kind of bizarre thing about this game is definitely the downloadable content. First off, the Werehog is a pre-order bonus. That's pretty cool, even though the Werehog looks a bit off. I don't know, something about his fur textures look weird. Either way, I'm glad he's here, and if you decide to order the game Digital Deluxe, which was a full $90 for me, you'll get the Season Pass and access to the current and later released DLC. Right now we have skins from Sonic Prime as separate character slots. I mean, there are these unique AI skins you can put on, not like actual AI, like, you know, the in-game universe made up AI, but I find it a bit weird that the Prime skins are just separate characters. I also don't know who or what any of these are. I didn't watch that baby show. But the other DLC character available right now is Hatsune Miku, who's also currently the only DLC character with voice clips. Yeah, that's the only real downside here. Almost every DLC character, including the Werehog, are mute. I understand we couldn't really expect them to write unique interactions between Blaze the Cat and SpongeBob freaking SquarePants, but how come they don't make any taunts or noises during the races? It's so strange. But yeah, apart from that, upcoming DLC will include other gaming characters like Joker from Persona, Ichiban from Yakuza, and even non-Sega IPs coming later, which includes Minecraft Steve, Alex, and the Creeper, the aforementioned SpongeBob and Patrick. We're also getting Pac-Man and the Ghosts. I also like that there's a cross-promotion Sonic DLC with the Pac-Man World 2 remake. That's really cute. And the most recently announced DLC is Mega Man and Proto Man, and there's going to be future DLC for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar: The Last Airbender? I guess since Paramount is releasing the Sonic movies, that's why they got to use all these Nickelodeon IPs, even if their inclusion is super random and strange. Also, does anyone else think it's such a missed opportunity to not have Chaos as a playable character when they're adding SpongeBob characters and Bikini Bottom as a racetrack later? Come on, I want to play as Chaos in the paddy wagon racing through the Krusty Krab! We were robbed. Oh yeah, there's also been leaks for other potential DLC characters to come in the future. Both Mega Man and Proto Man were leaked before they got announced, but even the back of the physical copies of the game features Knights when they haven't been announced yet. Plus, a recent Tales Tube episode revealed that Knights is gonna have their own extreme gear, which basically confirms they're gonna be in the game later. And thank God it seems to be normal Knights racing on extreme gear. I greatly prefer that over the weird Knights car from the previous racing games. Like, that was just way too weird. Oh yeah, the same Tales Tube video reveal also leaked that Ai from Super Monkey Ball is going to be a DLC character too. Good job, Sega. Never change. Regardless, I'm looking forward to all the upcoming DLC, and I'm glad that Sonic Team is going to be supporting this game for another year. The character roster alone really drives miles around TSR, and I don't have too much else to really say. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was an overall much better experience than TSR. The crossplay's a lot of fun, I like the selection of characters, the extreme gear's great to use, it's a lot of fun, so definitely check it out on whatever system you can get it on. You know, depending on if you want to spend between $60 to $90 on a Sonic Racing game, which will later feature SpongeBob and other characters. Also, yeah, it's kinda crazy that IGN gave this game a 9 out of 10 and they gave Mario Kart World an 8. Thinking the new Sonic Racing game is better than the new Mario Kart? Crazy. To be fair, I played a bit of Mario Kart World, like it was decent, but man, I can see where that game really goes downhill. But whatever, go check out Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, it's really good, and that's all folks.